we're going to take and remove our output shaft here. We've got a little cover here, 2 small Allen bolts that need removed there. We'll take and pull that cover up. We've got an O-ring sealing that one as well. You can see our bevel gear in here. This is one side of it. The other side is behind this spring in the shaft. And I'll get to that here in a bit. We've got a sensor wire here that goes down to a gear. I believe that's a gear position sensor there. Small Phillips to remove that. 3 tapered Phillips screws here. We'll get this cover or the sensor removed. There's a wire lead that'll go up to it. You can actually just remove that wire lead if you'd like, but I'm going to keep that all together. Pull that up. That is the gear position sensor there. We'll set that aside. You can see down in there you've got your shift drum, or maybe from your angle you can't see that, but I'm going to go ahead and remove these 12mm bolts here. I've already loosened these. You can see here we've got shims in behind here. They do, a lot of times you'll want to take those shims out. They come with a certain number of shims from the factory. You can get smaller shims, different sizes depending on what you need, but the reason why they do that is because as those gears wear, if your bevel gear stays the same, those gears are wearing, there's going to be more movement between them. If you take and move that shaft in, very, very small amount, that's going to go ahead and tighten that gear up. You want a little bit of movement there, but you don't want a lot. Won't be able to see the small amount of movement, but you do want to make sure that it's not completely tight. There's going to be quite a bit of drag on that bike as you go. So small amount of movement there. Be careful removing this because this is an aluminum piece here. Those break very, very easily. You can see there the shims just pop right up. There'll be some shims on the other side. You do want to make sure that they're equal on both sides. Okay, we got that removed there. Yoke and everything are going to come with it. I've done hundreds of videos on replacing U-joints on bikes and four-wheelers, so check those out if you're wondering how to replace this. Got a O-ring here that seals that up. We'll leave that all together there. Easy to put back together. We are not having issues with that. An inch and a 3/16 there. I'm going to have to use an extension to get that all the way through, and then we can actually take and remove a handful of these bolts holding this case together. We're going to get ready to split this. We will have to remove that gear to do that though. All right, we've got an inch and 3/16 bolt down in there to remove that transfer gear there, that bevel gear. We've removed that now. I wanted to be able to do that so I could get down in here a little bit easier. You weren't going to be able to see with the video. So what I did is just put something in here. You want to make sure that you don't damage any areas around there. But if you can take something in there, put some pressure on that gear so it doesn't spin. Otherwise, that gear is just going to freewheel in there. We've gone ahead and removed a couple other of the Allen bolts that were holding us in there. We've had a handful of them throughout this. Went ahead and got those pulled out. Now we're going to take a rubber mallet here and tap on the gears or the crankshaft there. And then as soon as you get it a good distance out, what I like to do is just set it down there, and we just take and lift that case apart there. I like to try to keep all the gears on one side or the other if I can. All right, while we're prying this apart, you will want to pay attention here. You've got your shift drum that'll hold you together. You don't have that in the correct position, so take and spin that so the stars align there. Once you get that to the correct spot, then you can flip it back over. Typically, if stuff is aligned, it's not extremely difficult to get this apart. Once you get it ready to come off of there, again, just try to pay attention to any gears or washers that come up with the actual case. All right, we can just lift that up out of there. Our crank will stay down in there. We've got our shift drum here. We've got a couple different sets of shift forks. And a lot of times these crankshafts will just come out all, just drop right out of there. So we've got our shift drum here, like I said. Shift drum. Shift fork set there. Another shift fork there. We've got our transmission there. So that is the crankcase split on a Yamaha Virago 500. If you guys got questions or comments, make sure and leave those below. If this video has been helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video as much as possible to help others out. Thanks for watching.